What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Montoya. Alright, so today's video is all about my crop top and matching midi circle skirt. Now this ain't just your regular circle skirt, okay? It has a flat front and an elastic back. So whoo, y'all, stay tuned. So the fabric that I used for my two-piece set is, of course, Ankara, which is 100% cotton fabric. And I purchased this from Wax Prints Lace and More. They are located here in the US, based in Texas. Now for the top, I used 1.5 yards of fabric to create the look, and for the skirt I used 4.25 yards of fabric. Next, on to the pattern and tutorials that I use to create my garments. For the top, I use my all-time favorite top pattern, which is McCall's M7757. I forget which view it was, but if you look at the front cover of the pattern, you'll be able to tell which view I used. The one with the flutter top, the flutter sleeves. That's the one that I decided to use. Now for the skirt, I used my Tiva skirt tutorial, which is a flat front, elastic back circle skirt. Now this tutorial will be coming out next week. I've been working on it for, I started recording this pre-COVID. Closure happened. School, I had to use all my time to focus on creating videos, editing videos for my students. So YouTube and whatever else I had going on is secondary. I had to just focus on that. So I was able to finish editing everything this summer. So now the course will be coming your way next week. So stay tuned, locked in on details about that. Now on to sizing. So for the top, I cut out the small. Now it does, the pattern, the back of the pattern and on the pattern pieces, it does not have the finished garment measurements, which I need for all patterns to have finished garment measurements. I rely on those to decide which size I'm going to cut out. So I just went ahead and went with the small, because after comparing my measurements to the recommended size that I think, yeah, on the back of the pattern, it suggested that I cut out a medium for my bust measurement. But I know typically when cutting out patterns, just for my personal preference, I always notice that that it runs it's too large. So I always have to grade down a size, or sometimes two sizes. But since it went by extra small, small, and medium, I decided I would just grade down one size, and I cut out the small. And for every time I've made this top, I always use the small. It's the perfect size for me. I like it. It gives me just the perfect amount of ease and the desired look that I prefer. Now the sizing for the skirt, I used my own measurements to create a self-drafted pattern. Since it has a flat front, elastic back, if my waist grows a little bit, the skirt will actually move with me as well, so no worries on drafting that. Now for modifications. So for the top, I added 2 inches of length at the bottom, just to give me some extra length. I don't like my crop tops to be too short. You know, like if I raise up my arms and then, you know, I don't want to be flashing nobody. So yeah, so I added 2 inches to the top. Now for the sleeve, I did want some extra volume for using the Ankara fabric. So what I did was I traced the sleeve pattern, and then I slashed and spread. So to slash and spread the sleeve, what I did was I traced, and then I slashed in 3 sections, so 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle. So for the ones here on the side, I spread those 4 inches, and then for the one in the center here, I spread that 3.5 inches. So to finish off my seams, I just used my serger on all of the edges, except for on the inside of the sleeve on the McCall's pattern. I just did what the directions say, which is to sew a second stitch and then cut close to that stitch. I like that look. I think I've tried in the past to use my serger on that, and I think it was a hot mess, if I recall. So I just decided to stick with what the directions said, and yeah, it worked out much better. So troubleshooting any mistakes or errors, I didn't have any problem sewing up these two pieces. I've made this top multiple times, so I've already worked out any challenges I may have experienced in the past. I've also practiced the skirt, you know, creating different makes of it so that I could be ready to film a course. So I didn't make any mistakes. If you look on the inside, maybe some of my serger thread might be a little off or something like that. But other than that, I didn't have any challenges. But yeah, so, and you know, with every garment there's always going to be some, you know, if somebody's looking fine-tuning like, I see, yeah, you might notice something, but nothing too major. This project didn't give me a headache like I've had with some of my projects in the past. I have absolutely no fabric left over. I used every piece of fabric. I did have some scraps left over, but I gave those to my students. So when before the school closure, I have something called Sewing Lessons with Miss Mayo, where students can buy a sewing lesson from me using their Mayo money. And in our Google Classroom chat, they were like, what about our coupons that we bought? Can we still use our coupons? And I'm like, yeah, we can do that. You know, if you have, and you know, many of them, whether they had a relative or someone they knew had a sewing machine that they could borrow. So we did a sewing lesson over Zoom to create face masks. So when they came to pick up their certificates, I had little sewing kits made for them. And you know, before they did that, we did a Zoom call, and I showed them, you know, different scraps, and this one was a hit. They all wanted my scrap fabric of this print here. So every single last piece is gone. I might have like a small little remnant if I wanted to make some button earrings or make one of my Imani necklaces or something like that. But other than that, the fabric is gone, y'all. It's all gone. Alright everyone, that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have some additional video footage coming right after this, so you can take another close look at my garments. I hope you all loved it, and I will see you next time.